Already done it.
Hey, welcome everyone to Foolish IT's Foolish Tech Show for
Yay!
Tuesday, December 1st, 2015. I'm joined today. My apologies, first of all. I'm very, very sick today, and I hopefully can not do as much talking, but I will introduce everyone as
Yeah, but
usual.
you're not getting out of anything. Get to work.
Proctor is on the end there in
Good
the
morning.
blue. We've got Brantley next to him across Brantley next to him, and then Nick
Michael,
next to him.
you know these things appear in alphabetical order, right?
Hey, you could all just set up your names.
It's not based off of what you see.
Oh, it isn't?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then forget it. You know who we are. Johnny's the girl, and Tank's our tank commander.
Oh,
And
you'll roughly get an order. So.
um, so it's been a couple of things going on. In the VPN community, I know we've promoted using VPNs in the past. There was a recent security vulnerability with VPN and port forwarding. Wherever port forwarding is being used, you can determine the original IP, even across the VPN. And so this has generally always been not recommended for privacy because there's always the implication that uh, that port forwarding will allow that original IP to be decoded. So it's not recommended to begin with. I've been using private internet access. Um, and it's been really good about this issue. They've actually updated their software and they've updated their servers to make sure that that there's no that it doesn't affect them. But you can't always be afraid. You can't always assume that. And so anybody that's using a VPN needs to do a little bit digging to see if that's a concern and to either turn off port forwarding or to move or just otherwise ensure that the service you're using maintains your anonymity while engaged in that type of thing. So I can point everyone to a couple of pages and things. Give me a second.
Michael,
Yes.
I just wanted to throw out there, and throw out there for everyone else, that the Foolish Tech Show is about supporting our customers and helping them out. So if you have any questions, get in the chat and let us know about any of our software, just anything in general. Just let us know. We'll see what we can do for you. In the meantime, Michael, you do sound pretty rough. If you run, start running low or just run out of material or want to stop, just let us know.
Oh,
As long as people are satisfied, we'll figure out something to take over. Brantley said that he had some kill 'em all feedback on the internal beta right now. So, and I was like, no, after the show, but we can do that during the show if you don't
oh,
continue. So
well, yeah. I
just to
mean,
let you know, we'll find something. We'll work it out.
all right. Well, I appreciate that. Just give me one more second here. But basically, this is an issue that's been talked about on Slashdot. That's where I first noticed it, and as you know, I get a lot of my news through Slashdot. Um, Here we go.
Oh yeah, we know.
So I am going to post this link here, and what else? Oh, I got an email in here too. Ooh. Oh, 1 second, guys. So, let's see. It looks like this the leak that they're referring to here has been around since November 17th. They specifically Private Internet Access has resolved that issue, but they apparently didn't resolve it completely. And on November 26th, which was the day that it was released to everyone, and I believe that's probably when the Slashdot story was posted. No, that was the 27th, but yeah, right around that time. They realized that this was still an issue, and so they updated their software to mitigate a further aspect of it. So what this is, a little bit more details about the issue. So let's see, they're calling it a port fail, basically, and so the only requirement for this to occur is that you have port forwarding enabled and that the attacker is on the same VPN. So there is a mitigation with that. The attacker actually does have to be engaged in the same VPN as you're doing. And so, and then a file or a phishing link is then transferred. And because of the port forwarding, I mean, I don't know exactly, how this plays out in the hack sense of it, but basically, because of the port forwarding, then when it's decoded on the other end, that IP is sent back, and there's no way to stop that.
It says that the issue persists even if you have port forwarding disabled.
It does? Where do you see that?
It's in the Slashdot article and the link in the Slashdot article. Yeah, the issue persists even if the victim has disabled port forwarding.
Yeah, but they're already the victim, I think, at that point. Because you can't take advantage of this without port forwarding. So I think that's a little bit misleading.
I'm not sure. It has me confused.
I'm a little bit, confused by it too. And if anybody out there is listening, if you have anybody has any clarification, please let me know. But and the thing is, it's not protocol specific, so it's not a particular type of VPN. It's not. It's been demonstrated on OpenVPN, IPsec VPNs, PPTP, point-to-point tunneling protocol VPNs. Yeah, but the article specifically does mention the issue persists even if the victim has disabled port forwarding, but they're not a victim until they've been. In order to become a victim, you have to have port forwarding enabled. So I'm a little bit at a loss on that one. I'm going to do a little bit of quick research here. The question is, why would anybody use port forwarding in a VPN if they're concerned about security? If you have private internet access, you do need to update your client. So that little green guy down in the corner, you need to right-click and hit upgrade. The new version is 0.53, I believe.
I'm sorry, Mark. You said if you have what?
Private internet access. If you have the shortcut to it, they have a tool. It was at 0.52, the VPN connection tool that that you can download. And it's also an app for iPhones and Android phones. So all those need to be updated. So if you have any device currently connected to the service, you need to make sure you disconnect, check for upgrades, and update the software, and then reconnect to it. And it's version 0.53 if you are in the case of private internet access. But I don't have any confirmation from any of the any other providers about doing anything with this issue. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Or it just may be that it's not that big of an issue. Like I said, port forwarding isn't enabled in private internet access by default, and they don't even recommend it. So, and they didn't do that prior, and they didn't recommend it prior to this issue occurring. So I don't foresee, and secondly, based upon that whole confusion whether or not port forwarding has to be enabled or not for this to be taken advantage of, I think this is a smaller issue than maybe some people are making it out to be, but needless to say, since it's been demonstrated now and it is effective, if port forwarding and VPNs are something you guys are engaged in, please update your software, update your servers, and make sure this particular threat is being blocked. It can apparently be blocked by firewall rules, although it doesn't go, and none of the information I have indicates which firewall rules would specifically be needed to make that happen. But I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. I didn't have a lot going on today because I've been not feeling well. Let's see what else we can talk about. I wanted to bring everyone up to speed. I was able to purchase a laptop and a bare bones PC for Christmas for myself. So that should take care of my power problems. I didn't actually end up building myself. Spent a couple extra bucks and had that CyberPower PC build it for me. That was really nice, not being able to have to pick an operating system and excluding certain components that I already have or want to migrate from a previous system. So I'm very pleased with that, and the cost was okay. I went above budget on both of them. Spent about $1,000 on both, and but I ended up getting a nice laptop from a T450. Very happy with the Lenovo ThinkPad T line. My mother has one, and I've been drooling over it. And so I looked, and it turns out that for half the money that I spent on hers 3 years ago, I can get a considerably excuse me. I can get a considerably better one myself. So I was pretty pleased about that. And I figure it's an investment, and I won't need to in the future borrow when I'm traveling to either your place, Nick, or to a business trip or anything else. I won't need to borrow anybody's laptop now, so that's good, or tablet. I went with a 14-inch form factor for the laptop. I believe that's the ideal balance for road warriors between portability and power. I wanted screen real estate, but I didn't want to go blind either. But I did go with 1920 by 1080 with an IPS screen. The only downside to the laptop is it didn't include it only included a mechanical traditional hard drive, 500 gig. 7200 RPM hard drive. Well, as it turns out, I purchased that first. When I went to go back to CyberPower PC to purchase the desktop, it turns out that they had a sale, and if you bought any hard drive from them, it included a 256 gig flash drive. Well, so for free. So I've got now a flash drive, or not a flash drive, excuse me, an SSD. Now I've got an SSD for my laptop as well out of this deal. So that worked out doubly well. I was very pleased with that. And as it turns out, they had a free upgrade from 1 to 2 terabytes on the hard drive, so I just got a 2 terabyte and got the SSD for free, and that cost all of $7 to do the hard drive. Added that on to what I was building. So very impressed. I've got a 6th generation Skylake Intel processor, i7, so 4 cores, 8 threads. Dual channel DDR4. I'm starting out at 16 gigs. Got a nice case, water cooling for the CPU, so I can have a little bit, the sound. I don't like computer sounds as much as I did when I was younger, or at least I can't tolerate them as much maybe now. So I do try to take that into consideration when I do a build. I actually ended up going with a Gigabyte motherboard. I believe they're gaming 3 or 5 line. I kind of like that. It has the USB 3.1 Type C connector built in, and that's something I wanted. And I also wanted to make sure it had a tremendous amount of connectivity. I was always constrained by the number of SATA connections that I've had on my existing system, and it's also lack of PCI Express lanes to expand those things with. But my new one's got plenty of that. It's got 2 M2 Ultra slots for NVMe, which I was telling you guys about, the successor to the AHCI protocol for transferring data to flash memory across the PCI Express bus. So it's got 2 of those slots. It's got 3 PCI, what are those? 3 SATA Express slots and 6 regular SATA slots in it. So lots of connectivity for storage on that. I'll be migrating my 1 terabyte Samsung 850 to that build as soon as I get that in. The only thing about it is shipping. Didn't have to pay tax on it, but shipping was a little bit big. It's a big box, so it was originally $75 shipping, but it was only like you can get it in a little bit quicker. With I ended up spending like something like $95 in shipping though, but. So I did that. I don't know what else. So apparently also.
Where did you get the ThinkPad from, Michael?
I just went to their site. They had a Black Friday sale.
Yeah.
At Lenovo.com. Now, I didn't go to the outlet at Lenovo.com just because this thing is too freaking frustrating. I went there and I refreshed the screen, and they were updating it more than every 15 minutes. I mean, like every 5 minutes they seemed to update it, and it was too hectic for me, and I got too frustrated, and I was spending way too much time watching one site rather than shopping. So I went to them and I started speccing it out. And they make it hard, they have the pre-customized models that ship real quick, but when you go and you find the ones that you can customize, and I picked everything, it turned out to be very, very reasonable. Like the base cost was only like $800 some odd dollars for a T450. And wonderful machine, by the way. Again, I can't stress it enough. I've used the T430, which is what my mom has, and it's phenomenal. The best laptop I've ever used. And
they're really rugged and strong workhorses.
Yeah. And she's had hers 3 years and travels twice. She flies twice a week back and forth from North Carolina to Ohio. And basically, it has held up that whole time. And she's never had one single problem with it. Grandly, even, she's had very few software problems, surprisingly. Her work and maybe my maintenance has kept it rather just purring right along. She's still on Windows 7. Because the work requires it, but other than that, it's a fucking stout machine.
Well, the reason I asked you was you'd mentioned that you didn't have the option to purchase it with an SSD. But even if you had, I've found that it's cheaper if you, a lot cheaper if you purchase the SSD separately and install it yourself.
Very, very good point. Well, I did have, I did not have the option. I did have the option, but not in that price range. They wanted $300 for an SSD for like a 256 gig SSD. That's like double the price that you would pay.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Easily, if not more so. And so I, didn't want to do that. I was definitely thinking to do it after market. And as it turns out, like I said, when I went to CyberPower PC and I ordered, and they had the 256 gig free SSD with the purchase of a hard drive, I just couldn't resist that. So I will get the SSD pretty much from day one with the laptop as well.
Another thing about the PC manufacturers, and it's also a lot cheaper to purchase extra RAM. Through a third party after the purchase of the computer than it is to buy it directly from them.
We found that out. Although I did find on CyberPower PC's site for desktops and custom builds, they do not mark it up nearly as much, it seems. So I don't know quite how they get away with that. I'm not sure where they're located. They might be doing low labor rates in some other country or something. But basically, the RAM and the SSDs are where they will kill you purchasing. And if you can possibly do those and just order your own from Amazon, it's a much it'll save you a ton of money. But yeah. I went with the 16 gigs of the RAM straight from CyberPower PC, like I said, because their price was much more in line with what I would pay regularly. But the RAM upgrades on the laptops, particularly, those are pricey.
Yeah.
And even more so than any desktop would be, upgrade-wise. And if you search Newegg, if you search Amazon, you'll find that the price of an SODIMM is not dramatically different, just because of the form factor. It's, in other words, they're not transferring a real cost to you. They're exaggerating a relatively minor cost and making it sound like it's a bigger deal because it's in a laptop.
Right. Yeah. Normally if I'm ordering a laptop like that, I'll order it with the least amount of RAM in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then install my, purchase RAM separately and install it myself.
The main
quite a bit.
The thing that they're doing today is with laptops, because they're trying to make them smaller, obviously, is they're soldering a certain amount of RAM onto the motherboard and then also providing potentially an additional slot to expand that storage. Unfortunately, I do not like this practice because
I don't either.
You limit your upgrade path, basically. I was looking at some the carbons, the X1 carbons on Lenovo's site, and that was the big problem I had with theirs. They either had they came with either 4 or I believe 8 gigs, and I think that was it. So and it was soldered, and so there's nothing you could do to upgrade. At least that's what I gathered. So I definitely didn't want to go that route. I don't need a lot of expansion in the laptop, and it's starting at 8 gigs anyway with the RAM, so hopefully I can get by with that for a bit of time. But I do like some expansion. But they're not exactly expanding. They're not giving us more of those options. I certainly we're never going to see, I don't think, a laptop with more than two memory slots. Oh, and I just found out, everyone out there, Adobe finally, after only 20 years, is killing the Flash name and replacing it with Adobe Animate CC.
Really?
Yes. Oh God.
That's probably because everybody is trying to kill off Flash.
Yeah, and so they can say, "Oh, we killed it off too," despite them not really. So I'm going to post another. Oh, hey, Filth. I didn't notice you were there. So yeah, so the Adobe's doing that. I'm running out of crap.
I have no idea how long I've been muted, but what's really bad is there's so many pauses in what you guys are talking about. Michael, it sounds like you're hearing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
But no, you can now.
Yeah.
You couldn't a minute ago. Been talking this whole show.
Was wondering why we hadn't heard from you.
I didn't have the window in focus. I had no idea. I was just saying that, they're of course they're doing it. They're trying to kill the Flash name. That's what Michael said. That's it. And it's just because everyone wants Flash to die. So we should boycott Adobe altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's actually.
Oh, speaking of, does anyone know, by the way, this would be good to know. Does anyone know any good PDF reader/editor placements? And when I say /editor, I mean there are certain PDFs, in their newer formats that you can fill in the forms, and some that you can add your own annotations and notes and things like that, and then save it like that, even though you can't modify the original content. And you can do that through Adobe Reader, and I think you can do that through the Windows one. Not sure, to an extent. Like a couple of those features are available, but I'm not even sure which Windows one I'm talking about now with the way Microsoft's going, so that pisses me off. So, does anyone know of anything decent that's not Windows, Adobe, or Microsoft that can?
I think Foxit is good.
Now, isn't that the one that comes with the junkware and junk stuff?
Oh, it may.
Yeah. See, I know you can usually get apps like that without somehow, or roundabout way, or do something. I don't like supporting people like that. Can't. If there's someone better out there that I can support, just wondering if anyone knew. If anybody out there knows, let us know, because we'd like to pass that info on. I haven't done much looking lately.
Yeah, I haven't done PDF.
Don't have the time. Every time I actually need to mess with a PDF, I don't have time to go mess with what I need to mess with the PDF. I just do it with whatever I got and get on and go put it in the back of my head. Gee whiz, I really need to find a better way to mess with this, but I never do it.
The Cute PDF is another one, but I think they try to install some crap on your
computer. That's some junk. I know that is.
I hate PDFs in general. I say we boycott those. Oh, duh! A perfect PDF reader, Chrome. Just use Chrome to read your PDFs. It's built.
Yeah, but can you? But it doesn't let you do all the manipulation of them.
Reading.
No, like filling out a form.
Like filling out forms, annotations, and stuff like that.
Annotations.
Annotations. My bad. You know what I'm saying.
I don't fill out forms. PDFs.
Oh, you like the paper ones? You mess around with faxes and stuff, I bet.
No, I don't fill out forms in general.
I don't know how you've gotten through life without that, but okay.
I've had issues with Chrome reading some of the PDFs that I need.
I have to, come think of it. Blame it on the browser.
This is Adobe, but I normally use Photoshop to edit PDFs. It's easier than...
Yeah, well, I guess if you've got Photoshop, that's one thing. And Reader, Reader's not bad either. I've got the Reader right now, is what I'm actually using, I think. But I don't know. Actually, it's got too many options, and too many of them you just can't do because they're trying to get you to buy, Acrobat. But yeah, I don't like messing with that. I'm trying to boycott Adobe. but not the PDF standard. I like PDFs, unlike Brandley. I just don't like Adobe.
I would like PDFs if it was an open standard and everyone could use it and it wasn't just Adobe.
Yeah, I don't like Adobe. I'll boycott them.
If the PDF was an open standard, I wouldn't. I don't really care either way. I think the format's pretty good.
Well, that's
But
why I don't like.
I mean, maybe there's something comparable. Maybe there's an open comparable out there, but no one uses it. So sorry.
The reason I don't like PDFs though is because you have to use Adobe Reader to use it efficiently, and that's ridiculous.
Well, that's all I'm asking is there's got to be a way around that. So hopefully somebody around there will know of a better app. Alternative2.net. I just haven't had time to do all that. I just thought I'd ask. I figured one of y'all might want to know. I didn't mean to start more of a conversation about it than it would have been.
Start a war.
Yeah, I would like to know of one too. It's a problem I have as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're using Acrobat. Who cares? Well.
Oh, and for anybody out there we're looking for or having trouble finding GIFs and stuff, just remember, and the places do this all across the country, go find your local sheriff or police department or FBI field office or whatever, and when they start auctioning off their the stuff that they seized in their in the course of their jobs, they typically make it available, and now it's getting easier and easier apparently to do that. And recently, apparently, the Texas Marshals took advantage of like Black Friday and posted sales on their sites. But I'm wondering if maybe we'll see more of this type of thing. And I kind of like it because these are seized property from criminals, and I would like to see them put to good use, and that might mean helping out somebody at a low price.
Those is probably seized property from people that the state wanted to seize property from. It's not necessarily a criminal,
Oh, well, there is that.
Yeah.
The downside.
Some of that, it's not necessarily. But you also have to look up court cases, and I mean, how far do you want to dig into that? I mean, I'm just saying, you're making accusations when you say stuff like that aren't necessarily the case.
That
Ooh, okay, yeah. All right, so.
I just feel like being a contrarian. I've never had property seized. I was just wondering.
Well, it's true. I would hope that all these items are seized ethically.
No, I've just been. I guess I've just been. I've had bad thoughts in my head lately.
Well,
like I recently looked up that guy. I remember Rage Against the Machine song "Freedom." And the video was about documented the Leonard Peltier, I think, the American Indian movement leader, jailed still until 2040. I didn't know what happened to him, so I wanted to, because I was listening to Rage the other morning to help me wake up, because it's good in the morning to help me wake up, and I was curious about this guy, so I looked up this guy, and the dude's still in jail, which is really bad. But so things like this anger me, and then I've had these things on my mind today, I guess. Sorry about that.
there's a Lifehacker article with the a hive of the PDF readers, and one that I haven't heard of, PDF Exchange, is the highest rated, 61% actually of the 5.
Anger meaning from unjust accusations and things by our government, which is what you brought up, Michael, by saying that.
Does anyone want to see a really crappy new Batman versus Superman trailer? It's under 50 seconds long.
Nah.
Literally all it has is Batman hanging in chains, and then Superman comes down and takes his mask off.
Mm.
And it's Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and then you see Ben Affleck.
And that makes me just not want to see the movie entirely.
Also, I think these are is PSY the people that have Gundam, that did Gundam Gundam style? I think it is. That highest watched YouTube video ever.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's okay.
Yeah, PSY. They came out with a new video called it translates into trumpet pants. It was a pretty funny video. Oh, and a toddler lost their eye to a drone.
Oh gosh.
I think they crashed it into it clipped a tree, spun out of control, and then collided with a young boy in England, and ended up hitting his eye where it had to be removed, and it's going to get a prosthetic later.
It's horrible.
And Johnny can attest to how great those things feel getting hit by them. Because she attacked herself with one.
It doesn't feel good at all. The blade smacked me in my arm.
And on another related note, here's a video of a guy that put a video camera on his boomerang, so you can watch how boomerangs go.
Where are you finding these videos?
YouTube.
I got that much, but I mean, is there like a place where they have like mobile drone videos and boomerang and eye slicing videos and stuff?
You just gotta know how to surf the web. Navigate the internet.
Oh, I don't know how to do that stuff.
And then you can find things like this, where you can see all the satellite trails.
What?
That's where all the satellites are.
What?
And you can see what kind of satellite it is.
I had something like this, except you could view them from orbit, not from as they're flying above the United States, but I can see the benefit of this as well.
I got that from this article. I would have thought there would have been more satellites, honestly.
What, this isn't enough?
No, I thought there would have been way more.
I'm sure there's some that aren't publicized.
Oh, that's true too, yeah.
Did you, okay, look, do you know the types here? You can select them all. Like if you go through and select them all, there are plenty of satellites.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do that.
There are plenty of satellites.
Oh, whoa, there's a whole list of them.
Yes, right?
What are amateur satellites?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and can I get one?
Yeah, right.
Screw your drone, I got a satellite.
was pretty sure it was kind of hard to
Launch one of those?
get one into orbit.
Not really.
No, launching it's easy.
Yeah,
Launching
getting
it's
it
really
high
easy.
enough. Yeah.
Getting it into orbit, I think, is the hard part there.
Yeah.
It's not that stable orbit. I mean, you can get into orbit. It's not a problem. Just how long it might stay up there is another issue.
It's
Well, if you get it into orbit
Michael,
properly,
what
it's going to
is
stay
the
up there.
ever gotten anything. Besides, I'm not even going to say that. But it's such a perfect opportunity. Oh, it's hard to get things into orbit. It's definitely hard to keep them in orbit.
Balloon.
Balloons don't even make it to orbit. They deflate before they even get out of the atmosphere.
I'm sure you could.
I don't have balloons floating around in space.
Yeah, why not?
Getting hit by satellites.
I'm telling you, it'd be a lot more fun watching NASA Channel. They had balloons.
Well, the guy that does the skydiving for Red Bull, he took a balloon up to like 80,000 feet, the edge of the atmosphere,
Yeah.
and jumped from there. God.
Yeah, but those are special, like, high atmosphere balloons.
Oh yeah.
Not plastic oxygen.
Yeah, that might as well have been a spaceship, actually. If you looked at it, it was pretty advanced. That he was on. And all sorts of life support and stuff.
Yeah. Well, you have to.
That might as well have been a spaceship.
Oh.
Yes, that's what we're going to take to Mars. Souped up balloon.
What are you doing?
Sounds like he's got a fur ball.
I'm going to mute myself.
Way better image than what I got from that. It sounded like he was trying to make a balloon. Failing. Well, now that you asked me to test that, I'm having issues with my service being installed.
Awesome.
Oh,
Bringing out
so
the bugs.
it's no longer No Shave November. And I decided to shave everything off.
Nice. Yes, I heard about that.
And look, you can see where Johnny messed it up.
Oh, God.
That's what I heard about. Oh
I was like,
my.
here, can you do the back? And she's like, yeah, sure. And then she does it, and then she goes, oh, wait, is there any way that I can mess this up? I was like, yes, it's a razor. She's like, oh. You're muted, Johnny, so whatever you're yelling in the other room, they can't hear you.
Oh, my God, apparently. So it's not a result of chemotherapy, then.
That's not
No.
funny.
Johnny said I should say it's what was it? Damn it, what's those? A jackass stunt. Is why it was messed up.
Oh.
I am never doing a beard again. That thing was stupid and horrible. Worst thing ever.
Well, the first time is bad, but
No, it's a aggravation.
It's always bad, and it's always bad until it's like
Not.
sufficiently a sufficient length, and by then you'll get used to the parts that you need to. But when it's shorter, when it's not a sufficient length, it always sucks. It is just horrible. It's always horrible.
It's
Every
a
time.
horrible, horrible thing that should never be done by
Yours was
anyone.
not a sufficient length.
So if you're going to grow a beard,
No, it
grow
was
it like a Viking.
Yeah.
like when you drink things,
Yeah.
like it leaves spaces open, so drink just like drools out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a horrible bacteria infestation.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I keep
terrible.
that shit clean.
It's terrible stuff. I don't see why anyone would do it ever. Do you want to look at the kill 'em all stuff now?
Yeah, 1 second, please.
Can I share my
I'm
screen?
actually looking at Kill 'em all stuff. It's my Kill 'em all stuff.
Can I share my screen for it?
Hey, I mean, yes, you can. I guess.
The good news is I didn't have any major errors with it. I only had one superficial thing. Well, two superficial things.
Oh.
I only mentioned one superficial thing to you.
Okay.
Alright, so we'll share my screen and show it off here. Alright, so we got kill 'em all here. We're gonna say yes to administrative. And I'm gonna say no to this killing things right now. Because I want to show you that other thing that I had. So right now I have rules in there for these three things. And Internet Explorer is one, which is why I have Internet Explorer open here. And we're going to do our site here. And it shows up in the allowed list as expected. Doesn't show up in the non-essential programs list as expected. But when you run the kill programs, it does show up here, and it says it's restarted.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
These two are also whitelisted, and they just say failure. But I left this open because you'll note that it did not get restarted or killed, so it's not killing it. It's just showing up in the list, and that's just kind of superficial, confusing.
The restarted, it's the reason for the why they're saying failure.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a bug saying because it says failure. And the reason why the restarted one is occurring, I bet you anything, is because there are multiple iExplore.exe processes running, even though you got one window open. Tell me if there's more than one.
Yeah, no, IE does too, always.
Okay, so what it's doing is it's reading through the list and it's seeing that with a different process ID that doesn't match the original it found, and it's saying, oh, it's restarted itself. But in actuality, it's just a second copy. But the reason why it's happening in the first place is because of the failed thing, which is because it's not obviously doing something right in the reporting.
Well, now
I'm gonna get some medication, guys.
The allowed one, I do have the search protocol host, and that's showing up as it successfully killed it. I don't know if I can check and see if that actually killed that or not.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I can.
It may just not be running. I don't think it actually tried to kill it.
It's 2500. It's not showing up here. But everything else I've tested works
okay.
great.
I see the problem then. Here, hang on. What's this shit right here?
I wasn't able to get it to crash.
Uh,
Do 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 do. Where did I put those things? There. Ah. I got something else for anyone that likes horror films. 27 of the best horror movies you've probably never seen. Which some of those are pretty good. I've seen some of them. But there were some interesting ones that.
Let's see if I've seen any of them.
Your next was interesting. I want to look at this crow's nest. Number 11 looks the best.
I believe I fixed that, Brantley. Let me remind me. I'll get that to you in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, what you were showing me it triggered. It showed me exactly where to go. I don't know.
Sweet.
I see a problem that would cause that. So I was happy there.
And this is another list of horror movies, the top 50 horror movies on Netflix as of this month. So if you wanted to see some horror movies. The Taking of Deborah Logan, the first one, is pretty good. I was not impressed with the Babadook. I haven't seen most of these other ones. Oh, Wormwood was pretty good.
I've almost watched that one before.
It was pretty good. It's set in Australia. It's pretty funny. Troll Hunter, I heard, was pretty good. Scream 2 and 3 made it to number 15 on this list.
Why are they on any list?
Yeah. Housebound was funny as hell. That's actually like I made Johnny watch it with me, and
I've got that on my list. It's on my watch list.
it's so funny. Like it's a really slow movie, but it's so funny. Like the end of it just makes it all worth having watched it. And if you've ever had anything go missing in your house, now you have someone to blame it on after watching that movie. So it's worth it just watching it for that aspect.
That might be a good flick for this evening, then.
Oh, they have Battle Royale on Netflix? That's awesome. Streaming? That's awesome. Battle Royale is an awesome movie. That's probably one of my
I haven't
favorite.
seen that in forever.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies ever. Silence of the Lambs is on there. That's a pretty good one.
It's always a fun one.
Oh, all the Hellraisers are on there. Hellraiser 1 through 9.
And those are all, well, 1 through 6, 1 through 4 are spectacular. 5 and 6 are okay. After that, they really just kind of. And then I think after 6 or 7, Doug Bradley quits doing Pinhead.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I wouldn't really call that a horror movie, but it was pretty good.
No, but I love that movie. That was
It's a
awesome.
gory comedy, is what that is,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's what,
Snowpiercer was dumb. That was a dumb movie. It's about people trying to get to the front of a train.
Yeah, I saw that on there, and I dismissed it. And
Is Oculus the one with about the... Yeah, Oculus was pretty good.
it was pretty good. I've seen that one.
The others is pretty good. I don't know why Wes Craven's New Nightmare made it to this list.
It's got one good line in it.
Oh, Children of the Corn made it to 49. Oh man, that makes me want to watch another horror movie that I haven't seen in a while. Red State. That is a good movie.
That one sounds familiar. I think I've seen that one.
The Kevin Smith movie about basically about like the West Baptist Church or whatever.
Oh yeah. The Westboro. I did see that one.
Westboro Baptist Church. That's the
Yeah.
one.
About those people. Yeah.
Those people.
It's not about them specifically, but it's about people like them luring in people with Craigslist ads, I think it was, or dating app ads or something, and then killing them.
Wow. Okay.
And the pothead hippies saved the day in the end, like without even realizing it.
Naturally.
That was a good movie, though. Very, very good movie, Red State. Highly recommend it if anyone hasn't seen it.
I enjoyed it.
It's got what's that guy's name? That was the husband on Roseanne.
John Goodman.
Yeah. Was that John Goodman? Or was it the other guy that's like John Goodman? Because I thought John Goodman died.
No, John Goodman's still alive.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. He's a good actor.
John Candy died.
That's
That
the
was
one.
a long time ago, man. Come on.
Probably the one I was thinking of. Yeah, John Goodman was in it. He was really good. The lead ATF person.
Oh, wow.
Still, the best horror movie I've seen this year and in a long time was Annabelle.
Annabelle was good.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that.
That was a super scary movie.
And he watched it twice.
Yeah. And it was still just as scary the second time. It was a precursor to, what was that other movie?
Conjuring.
Yeah. It was the prequel to The Conjuring. And The Conjuring was a good movie. No, I still didn't fix it. Slightly fixed it. No, that's too far. That fix it. Yeah. Close enough, whatever. I watched an interesting Keanu Reeves movie, Knock Knock. Slightly horror, more suspense, but scary
Interesting.
concept.
Keanu Reeves, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just, not too long ago, I watched a pretty decent Keanu Reeves movie. It was John Wick.
Yeah, that was bad.
Film. That was pretty good.
That was okay. Had John Leguizamo in it.
Yeah.
He made the movie. Watching that made me go back and watch that Al Pacino, John Leguizamo movie. The one they reference in rap songs all the time.
Oh, I wouldn't know that then. Not from a rap song.
It was a good movie. Google spell it. Carlito's Way. Dang good movie. I'd say that one's almost better than Scarface, honestly. Alright, well I think that runs out of my tidbits. Does anybody else got anything else?
I don't have anything on 11 o'clock.
I don't have anything.
Oh, we found out about this game at Ohio Linux Fest, and we're definitely going to have to play this at the next company meeting. Jungle Speed. It's like one of the most simplest games, but highly addicting. Basically, people put out their cards, and if their card matches a card that's already out, you have to grab the totem pole. And if you grab it first, then you get to give all your cards to the person that was playing the card. You win by getting rid of all your cards. Super, super fun game.
Cool.
Okay.
And it says it's for 2 to 10 players. I couldn't even imagine playing it with 10 players. I think we had like 5, and it was really difficult to play with 5.
And we were drunk.
Yeah, it's way more difficult when you're drunk.
Okay, you should try playing Giant Jenga when you're drunk.
Where did you play Giant Jenga?
It was a bar in Greensboro.
It was just regular Jenga. He's just trying to make himself a little tall.
That's funny. That was a good short joke.
Oh, dang it. I didn't even get it at first.
It would have gone under the radar or over the radar in Proctor's face. Hey, so I do have one last thing. So anyone that has Keurigs, have y'all seen this hot cocoa? Sugar babies?
Oh, haven't seen that one.
Delicious. And apparently they have a Tootsie Roll one.
Oh, wow.
That sounds delicious as well.
Ashley, if you're still watching, pick up some of those at the store.
Yeah. They had them at our Walmart. It was like the only one that had like almost all of them sold.
Is what he really means is please pick up some of them at the store.
Proctor's like, I went through 9 months of please. We're past that now. I at least get a month off. Has it gotten any bigger?
Bigger than 22?
I bet he's not 21
Yeah.
inches.
Are you like measuring them at home or just going off doctor's visits?
Doctor's visits. I forget what his weight is now. He's gained some weight.
It's so hard to get him to stand up against the wall to mark them.
Yeah, no joke.
Stay!
I was at Home Depot this weekend. They actually have pre-marked boards for measuring your children.
Wow, that sounds like something you do when you're going fishing. Pre-marked boards for measuring your children? That's cool, though. I guess it makes it easier.
Yeah, instead of marking on your doorway or whatever.
Okay.
I was thinking like that you made the doorway out of that.
Eventually.
Oh, that would be cool.
You could go to Lowe's and just pick up a piece of door jam and use that, and then when he can stand up, you can just put it on the door.
All
We
right.
used to do that. We used to do that growing up, but we never lived in a house long enough to like actually keep record of it. So we'd have to like start over every year.
Yeah, that would make that not a worthwhile venture.
Mhm.
Definitely
Yeah.
not something to do in rentals. All right, well, we've made it past our hour.
Yay.
So that is our show for today. Unless anybody has anything else they want to say.
Nothing, man. I'm about to
No.
compile one for you, and then we can do that.
I did post a link for the kids' growth chart stick in the chat.
That's an
Sweet.
idea.
Oh.
All right, folks. Well, that's our show for today. And we will be back tomorrow, Wednesday at 2 p.m. We'll probably just be rambling again tomorrow. And if anybody has any questions or needs some support, always feel free to visit us at foolishtechshow.com. Jump in the chat. Be happy to answer them on the show. And we will see you all later.